Rolf Peterson today. He's one of our owner clients, and he is a retired dentist from Jacksonville, and he owns a couple properties. So I just wanted to kind of get his perspective on being a rental property owner in the Rogue Valley. So Rolf, what kind of advice would you give to somebody who's looking to invest in rental properties?
Well, first of all, I guess you'd have to decide whether you want to be in the residential market or the commercial market or whatever. I've done both. I think at this stage of my life I'm interested in the properties that are close by that I can control. I think this is a great time for individuals to be in the residential retail market because the vacancy rate is so low.
That's true.
Now, properties cost a lot nowadays, but as they cost more, the rentals have gone up. So the person that was into this market 6-7 years ago is going to be in great shape, because they've got a fixed segment of costs and the rentals have gone up. However, you can look back and to say 2010 and say, gosh, that market, those costs are too great. I can't spend that kind of money. Well, now you're looking at, hey, those properties are worth a heck of a lot more. So the question you have to make is, do you want to do that today, hoping that the market's going to go up again? I think the most important thing is you need to have enough money down so that if the market adjusts, which probably will, you are covered. You don't want to go underwater.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So part of this equation is you have to decide what price point you're looking for as far as a tenant goes. In other words, the lower the rent, probably the more people you have to choose from. If you go for the higher end properties, the ones that are maybe a little larger or newer or whatever, then the pool of talent that you can get is going to be less. So I think the most important thing is simply making sure that that you are in the arena of this expanding market that is comfortable for you.
Right, yeah, and also kind of the perspective on, you know, is this a short-term investment? Are you going to buy and then sell, or is it a longer-term situation where you plan to have the property for the long term? And so that kind of affects what you're planning on buying as well, I'm sure, as an investor. You know, like you said, something brand new, or maybe a fixer-upper, that kind of thing.
Part of that has to do with whether you as an investor or an owner is comfortable doing some of the work themselves.
Right.
Maybe they'd like to buy a piece of property that's not very well maintained. It's kind of run down.
Right.
And they'd like to go ahead and spend some time, their own time and their money, making that up to a level which would attract a really nice renter. That's another way to go. I happen to be of the feeling that I'd rather get into a newer property that doesn't have, or we're not looking at a lot of maintenance issues.
Right, that's smart.
That just happens to be my
I think that's a good way to go too, because then you kind of have that peace of mind that, you know, of course anything can happen, but it's a newer place with all new, you know, finishings, appliances and everything, so the likelihood of things, you know, going out or happening are a little bit less. So when you purchase your rental properties, you know, I'm sure you considered the question, should I manage them myself? I'm local, you know, you obviously know about rentals, or should I hire a property management company? How did you come to that decision?
Well, for me, that was a real simple decision because I'm not a fixer-upper guy. I can do a few things around the house, but I'm not the kind of person that can, what will I say,
renovate, or you have to
renovate something.
Break into action in the middle of the night, possibly.
So I would say the reason for hiring your management team is number one, the fact that you know the rules about evaluating individuals.
So important.
Because I think those rules are complicated. There's so many questions you can't ask.
Right, and they change often.
Right.
So.
And that'd be number one. The second one would be the fact that there's a huge pool of individuals looking, and with a website and a larger
the marketing aspect.
Right.
Right.
That gives you a chance to pull in a lot more people that if you tried to do, say you did a ad in the paper or something like that, I think that's a lot more difficult. So having a big pool, as well as the fact that this is your business. You know, you do this every day.
Right.
As an individual, I would be poor at interviewing people. I wouldn't know the rules. If one of the tenants was giving us a problem and you had to make a court action, would I know how to do that?
Right.
Absolutely not.
Right.
And probably the third thing, and one of the more important things, is you field any calls for maintenance, for repairs. Doesn't matter what time of day it is. You know, I really, I don't want to be involved in that. I'm willing to pay a little for the management to make sure that my time is my free time.
Right, and that's definitely valuable. Well, Rolf, thank you so much for your insight on being a rental property owner. We really appreciate it. And of course, thanks for your continued business.
You bet. Thank you.